All right, hello. Yeah, this is gonna be one video, the only video of the month, I guess, or something like that. Except I decided to complete one video that I'm working on, but regardless, you already know from the previous video why I'm not uploading. If you haven't watched it, I'll leave it in the description. Regardless, I had a while back, and I remember it, but I don't remember from who it was. They asked me that I should take a look at the Argonak on stream and that I should make it viable for, you know, for actual playing, because the Argonak has a very funny mode that is the Amalgam Argonak Metallurger. So this, if you use a dagger, it makes your dagger incredibly overpowered, and you can get some insane damages with it. So if you use something like the ceramic dagger, if you use Inodam, if you use something like that, and you pair it with an Argonak, you can get some crazy results, especially when you consider stuff like melee influence that are in the game, and then you can armor strip everyone at the same time with it. It's just very strong in general. So some people really like the feel of this weapon. I am one of them, so I wanted to make it kind of good as well. And immediately I realized that in the current meta that we're having, that is very status heavy, the primary semi-auto fire will not do anything. Specifically because if we compare it to something like the Zenith, which is meta, we see that it is... where is it? Here. So 150 damage on the Zenith compared to 57. 35 to 27, and then 3.7 to 3.5. This is with Kavat buff. Now, obviously, this is swapped around because the secondary fire on the Zenith is the semi-auto and the primary fire is the normal one. So you see on the Zenith, you get like way better stats. So it's just a massive downgrade from that weapon, and I wouldn't use it in that way. But the primary fire of this doesn't decrease its damage at all for some reason. So you only get a decrease in crit stats, which makes it pretty viable. So we'll see how viable exactly it becomes, and let me actually show you the builds first that I ended up with, and I'll explain a small argument, right? So you know how we have the argument that nowadays we can go with some builds that are very status heavy, we can go with some builds that are pretty crit heavy, and we can go full damage, we can go full status and whatever. Now, the thing is, what is the best exactly right now? What is the best to go for? So, as you see, the viral has no more damage to Grenier enemies. If we go for corrosive, put high voltage here, you see corrosive has more damage to Grenier in general. However, even with paired corrosive heat, the armor of enemies is actually not enough to warrant you actually going for corrosive instead of viral. And I'm gonna show you this with a small, showcase of the weapon itself. So same exact builds, one has corrosive and one has viral. You're gonna see the difference and how massive it is, and then we're gonna actually showcase the weapon with the correct build. So all these tests are gonna be done on base Steel Path Olympus. Generally, every enemy in the game right now that is not a demo on base Steel Path is extremely squishy. They die very quickly from pretty much any weapon, so any weapon becomes base Steel Path viable right now, and it's just disgusting. But enemies do have a lot more HP once you get up in levels, so it is a decent trade-off, but in general, the average player feels like the game is way easier, and that was not the point of the update. The point of the update should have been the opposites, that level 100 and then anything onwards should be harder, like way harder, but it's easier. So it is very bad right now, the situation that we're in. So this is what Amalgam Meta Audio does. We get the small red things here that shows us where the enemies are, highlights them a bit easier to keep up where the enemies are. Feels okay. Fire rate feels very nice when paired with Wisp. Secondary fire when using this, it's like okay, but realistically you wouldn't use it. You would just use primary fire and one-shot everyone. But it's pretty viable. right? So we got some decent stuff going on with the build that I'm going for. So now the demo is coming. What I'll do on this is I'll add Eclipse, and then I'll try to kill him. So one mag dealt quite a bit of damage when everything was a headshot in general. This one's even better than last time, so I'm gonna do another demo. Just so the point is a bit easier to be proven. So we're gonna go for another demo. And you know, I have tried a lot of stuff. I have, you know, made a lot of adjustments to the build to see what works best for me. You can see this is kind of what I got the first time. This is without Eclipse, obviously, so a lot less damage, but you see that it is quite hard to kill them without it. So, now that we have seen how corrosive and hit pairs, let's show viral hits after the nerfs to armor to see how much stronger viral is. It's insane how much stronger it is. Because back in the day, corrosive hit was good because armor of the enemies was extremely high and corrosive would reduce it by a lot. So it would be absolutely disgustingly strong against those type of enemies and it would absolutely destroy them. So with a change to this, also this is the Raven, in case you were wondering. With a change to this, now viral is like way better because you still keep the passive that you get an increase of damage, that is a multiplier, but you're losing base damage that on a weapon like this you wouldn't really care for, in my opinion. So knowing this, this means something. So first of all, Blast is horrible. Blast is still really bad. It is only good on specific setup of weapons and if you're priming, if you have that stuff going on. And it can be quite fun if you want to make your weapon AoE, but it has some really bad drawbacks like the knockback of the enemies. So every time you get a blast proc, the next blast proc will be a bit worse because the enemy is further away and there is a linear fall of damage. In general, Blast is just not that great, unfortunately. It had a good idea, but since it cannot be combined with Viral very easily, it just doesn't work as well. So right now you see Viral on normal enemies, it doesn't have much difference, pretty much same. But you see the build that we have gone for is for full heat damage, so doesn't change much. So we say generally decent damage right now. Now I'm gonna do both tests as it was before. And, you know, Eclipse on the first guy, no Eclipse on the second guy. As you see, before the mag even runs out, the heat procs and the extra 325% damage are so strong that he just dies. And it's unfortunate, because there were so many buffs to the other elements, and they seem to have done nothing. So, it's just the same thing as before. You either go Viral Slash, or Viral Heat, or Viral plus one element. One good thing about this patch, and that I will talk about on the next video, is that single target elements, or single elements rather, are way stronger now. And it has brought up some really unique weapons in the meta, in my opinion. Which is one thing that I really liked, but in general, the balance didn't do much. Well, this guy is squishy, unfortunately, so we're not gonna see much, but you see 396k hit proc is really good. So, now that we've seen what the weapon can do on itself, I'm gonna pair it with a good primer. I have the compressor with me, so I'm gonna use that. So damage without many bullets is not the greatest. That is because this is just normal additive CO. In generally though, primers have been way more buffed than they were. Like primers are super strong right now. The new cold buffs have made primers extremely strong for especially weapons that have multiplicative CO, heavy crit, something like that. You can see Salta playing hit for way more damage now than they used to do, and it's absolutely nuts. But I don't know, in general the update didn't change much, but it brought new weapons to the meta. And beam weapons are absolutely broken right now, so it's already even better than it used to be. Yay. Just what we needed. I don't know. General, this update, just like I said on the other video, it's just a disaster. Not adding any content, balance changes are not hitting the mark. Just really poor update in general. So I'm seeing I have no deadhead stack, so I'm gonna try to stack it real quick. Oh yeah, look, that guy is frozen now. How is this fair? It takes so much damage from me. The Argonak is not a crit weapon, and yet the amount of crits I did because of Arcane Avenger were enough to absolutely one-shot him. And this is a status-based build. Now, as a status-based build, it doesn't do well against Acolytes, but this is more than good enough to take you up to level 1000 as a weapon right now, especially if you pair it with a good primer like I have. On Acolytes, you would want to use secondary fire probably. But you see, still, even with priming and even with armor stripping from Kavat, it unfortunately doesn't do much. It's just underwhelming. So you would probably need some kind of melee weapon to take care of them. You can use some stuff. But yeah. Yay, the events. Yeah. Great event, guys. Great event. An excuse to lower the price of Arcane Energize once again. God damn it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just the update has demotivated me completely. But I must say that it can still be fun from time to time to take a weapon that I haven't used in a while and a weapon that I always wanted to make good and actually make it good. And it was fun experimenting with some stuff. For example, I have a video where I'm gonna let you guys know what the strongest weapons are in this patch. That is the video I am working on, and that is the video that I hope that I find the motivation to finish. But in general, just know that any multiplicative CO gun is OP. Any kind of beam weapon is OP. Even where is it? Or is it further up? Have I used it that much? Yeah. Even this shit is OP. Legit. It's actually so strong right now. Like, any kind of beam weapon that you might pick up is immediately giga strong. Any kind of full damage primer is really strong. Epitaph, Compressor, they're insanely strong. Any kind of buff up Warframe that buffs up this one element is really strong. The Hystrix Prime is really strong. I don't know, there is just so many weapons right now that have opened up from the single target, single element damage being super buffed, but just know, if you use any kind of beam weapons, Like anything that is a beam, even if its status sense is like 40%, like the signups, you will still absolutely melt everything because the meta is heavily status focused, and beam weapons with status are absolutely insane. They're just menaces. There is generally a lot of weapons that I cover in that video. I have a script and I have done some voices, but I need to play the game and actually get footage, and I'm just bored to do that. But when I find the time, you guys will get that video, and I'm sure you will appreciate it a lot and try a lot more weapons. If you want my opinion on the best weapon to use right now, it would easily be the Barakor. It's not the Stalta, unironically, it's the Barakor. The Barakor is OP right now. After the magnetic changes, the primary fire, just the damage is through the roof. You don't need any kind of hunter munitions, you don't need anything else, you just go full damage, and the damage is, yeah, it's just through the roof. What can I say? Multiplicative CO paired with primers, it's crazy. Actually, you know what? I'll just keep the video a bit longer and show you what the Barakor can actually do. Because, yeah. In general, no matter what enemy you find with the Barakor right now, it just one-taps it. As long as you're stacked and you're aiming down sides to proc any all the galvanized buffs together, so you get red crits, it's just insane damage. So first kill obviously gonna be way less damage because I have negative damage on my Ravenmon. But now we're stacked, so you see, as long as we headshots, it's just over. This is no eclipse. 128k damage, no eclipse. Because every Brigadier is just weak to corrosive now, and then magnetic damage doesn't get fucked by armor anymore, so it's just insane. I'm gonna try to kill the demo without any kind of buff up, just the weapon being the weapon. No priming, nothing. Let's see. You saw how long the Argonak took before, right? This one just scales super hard. And that's just the weapon on its own. It's not... It's just so disgusting. I'm gonna like add the primers and everything for the next one, so you see what I mean when I say that's just the weapon on its own. Because if you add those, then oof. Oof. Alright, look at this. Like, what survives this? Ironically, I don't get it. I just realized my mic was fucked the entire video. Thanks. Amazing. It doesn't matter, bro. How stupid is it though? The Barakor. It's like. Wait, let me show you another thing, because I don't think you understand what I mean with new magnetic. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to patch notes, to anything. Like, have people mentioned what the new elements do? Have people mentioned what is good and what's not? I haven't been up to anything, so I'll just show you real quick in the simulacrum why I think Barakor is the best, right? So let's spawn 20 Heavy Gunner Eximus. And just go. So first heal will obviously take a lot more because no stacks. So now we're stacked. Like, it almost one burst them. Sometimes it does one burst them. If I get some lucky reds. Genuinely does one burst them. 500 damage. Where does the electric proc even come from? Hey, there it is. There is the one burst I was looking for. So you see, it's like, if you can do one burst on level 205 Eximus without any kind of buff ups, then it's just ridiculous. You feel me? Like, people are using the augment and then they just don't use this primary fire that is absolute bonkers. I don't get it. Like, what does sentient barrage do? Real. What does it do? It just buffs your secondary fire to have infinite body puncher and give it crits. Why would you care when you have a primary fire with innate magnetic that deals this much damage and just one-shots anything? Because of multiplicative CON aptitude, it's just ridiculous. So yeah. If you like the Batacore, go bonkers with it, because it's actually insane right now. It's probably the strongest non-beam weapon in the game right now. I'm not gonna lie. The Argonak itself, I think I hit the mark with it. It's pretty viable with this build. Needed a Riven roll. I rolled it 40 times after getting the roll and didn't get anything better, so that was kind of sad. Instead of the Riven, you can go ahead and put more heat, in my opinion. Like, I would literally just thermite rounds it, and that would be it. But in general, I think the Riven kind of carries this. 100% multi-shot and damage to Grenadier does a lot. Regardless, hopefully I do get the other video finished by the end of the month or by TennoCon. Hopefully by TennoCon, because TennoCon will give us something new and it will be pointless after. Regardless, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll leave Discord and Twitch links on the description below, and I'll see you on the next one.